Sports Stories. New Kid on the Swim Team. Chapter 3. Sinking Fast. Jack had quit the team 3 days earlier, but still hadn't gotten the nerve to tell his parents. The last 3 mornings, after his mother drove him to the community center, Jack walked to a coffee shop. He bought lemonade there and played games on his phone. After a couple of hours, he wet his hair in the bathroom sink and went outside to meet his mom. The routine was getting boring and lonely. Today, he sat in the coffee shop and called his best friend in Oklahoma.
Yo,
Noah said.
great to hear from you, dude.
Jack grinned.
I bet Los Angeles is totally amazing.
Noah said.
How many celebrities have you met? Have you gone surfing? Talked to beautiful girls?
0, no, and yes, Jack replied. Well, he talked to one beautiful girl, but he hadn't seen Laura since he'd quit the swim team.
Guess who I went out with last night?
Noah said. Before Jack could guess, Noah blurted out the answer.
Kara. Since you're not around, I asked Kara to the movies.
Whoa, Jack said. Neither of them had been on a date before.
It was great.
Awesome, Jack said. Hey, how did the swim meet go?
We won, and I got my personal best time in the backstroke.
Noah said. Congratulations.
Oh, and now that our best swimmer, you of course, is gone, I'm doing breaststroke on the relay team.
Cool, Jack said.
So you talked to some beautiful girls?
Noah asked. Just one, but we swam together at my pool.
Awesome,
Noah said. I should ask her out. If you can get a date, anyone can, Jack joked. Noah laughed along.
If you weren't so far away, I'd punch you. So did you totally impress the girl with your swimming?
Totally. Jack had lost a race to Laura and done a belly flop in front of her. So he definitely made an impression. An awful one. I need to go, Noah. Congrats on swimming your personal best and on dating Kara. Jack clicked off his phone, feeling lonelier than ever. Later, Jack's mother drove him home from fake swim practice. Back at the apartment, Luke was playing with one of their new neighbors. The 2 little boys ran through the small apartment waving rubber swords. Meanwhile, the long-hair boy's song played over and over through the wall.
Baby, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby, baby.
Jack clapped his hands over his ears. Mom, can I go to the pool? Aren't you tired from your practice this morning? Jack quickly shook his head. Nope, I'm feeling great. All right, his mother said. You know the rule. If you're the only one at the pool, you have to come home. When Jack got to the pool, he groaned. He definitely wasn't the only one there. Mrs. Wilson was sitting on a lounge chair. He forced himself to be polite and waved to her. She peered at him, frowning. Young man, you need to practice if you want to swim faster than your girlfriend. She's not my... You should be out here every day. My grandson, little Tommy, once swam 196 days in a row. He took a few days off only because he got pink eye. Oh, Jack said. He dived into the pool. Streamline, 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 Mrs. Wilson yelled. After 3 laps of the freestyle stroke, Jack stood up at the shallow end of the pool. Cup your hands more, like this. Mrs. Wilson cupped her hands. Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Jack sat on the pool steps and closed his eyes for a few moments. Listen to my pleas. You're the one for me. A girl's voice sang next to him. Jack's eyes flew open. Laura was standing over him, at the edge of the pool. Had he been humming that awful song again? She grinned at him. I love that song. I saw the Longhair Boys in concert last year. Oh, that song is... Jack tried to think of something good about it. It's really catchy. Laura sat on the pool steps. So close to him, he could see the cute freckles on her cheeks. How come you haven't been to swim practice? Laura asked. Jack looked away, wondering what the coach had said to the other swimmers. Well, I had pink eye. Too bad, she said. Hi, Jack! Luke shouted. Luke and his new friend rushed toward the swimming pool, throwing a beach ball at each other and squealing happily. Slow down, boys, Mrs. Gibson said, hurrying after them with a large mesh bag filled with towels, water bottles, and sunscreen. No running near the pool, and keep your voices down, Mrs. Wilson said. Sorry about that, Mrs. Gibson said. She introduced herself to Mrs. Wilson and then looked at Laura. Laura smiled. Hi, I'm Laura Perez. I live in apartment 2D. Jack's mother smiled back. I'm Anne-Marie Gibson. Nice to meet you. Jack and I are on the same swim team, Laura said. My mother was wondering if you'd like to carpool to practices. Jack's heart sank. He hadn't thought about carpooling. It's too bad Jack got pink eye and missed the last 3 practices, Laura said. Oh no, Jack thought. He couldn't manage to look at his mom. What? Mrs. Gibson sounded shocked. Jack didn't have pink eye. He's been in practice every morning this week. Laura shot a look at Jack. Jack's mother looked at him too. You have been going to practice, right? Jack didn't say anything. Do I have to call the coach and ask him? His mother said. Jack sighed. I'm sorry, Mom, he mumbled. I skipped the last 3 practices. I went to a coffee shop instead. Jack's mother didn't seem to know what to say. Obviously, we have some things to discuss later. Sorry, Laura mouthed at Jack. She looked just as confused as Mrs. Gibson. My little Tommy would never lie to his mother or skip practice, Mrs. Wilson chimed in. Young man, you should be ashamed. Jack was ashamed. But this was his mother's fault, too. She and his father had taken Jack away from his friends and his school and his swimming team in Oklahoma, where Jack had been a star. Jack had lied, but so had his parents, about his new bedroom and how great life in California would be. Anger washed over Jack. He felt angry at everyone. His parents for the move, Laura for tattling on him, Mrs. Wilson for being a busybody, and his little brother who announced loudly, I'm peeing in the pool!
Little Fox.